Cancer Awareness Month. It's a cause particularly close to my heart, and I love shining a light on women, helping women stay positive while battling this awful disease. Our next guest is doing just that, building an entire community of young women supporting each other. Let's welcome the creator of the Too Young for This podcast, Rosalina. Give it up. Love the title of your podcast. It's amazing.
Yes.
So you're doing better now, but can you take us back to your diagnosis?
Yes. So last year in February, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, actually a month after my birthday. So I was 28 years old. I just turned 28, and I was actually the first in my family to have this illness, and I didn't have anyone in my circle that went through this. So I was pretty much felt like really isolated, sad. Scared and angry.
Yeah.
Really angry of like why this happened to me. But I was trying to find a community online, and at that time I didn't really see one. And so it was just a day after my mastectomy surgery is when it just like clicked with me, and I was like, well, I should create my own community. I should start my own podcast to like share my story, and for women out there who feels alone, making sure that they don't feel isolated or alone. And
Therapeutic for you, but also them.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And the other part about it is that there's a stigma in the Latino community about talking like the topics of cancer or just life-threatening like health issues. And I believe that if we talked more about these things, we'll be more educated, and
Lives could be saved if knowledge is power.
yes, and
Yeah.
so that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Of course, like telling your story, having your testimony to help somebody else as well, that's incredibly powerful.
Yes.
So you connected with another young woman like going through breast cancer. So tell us about Shauna.
Yes, so I actually found Shauna through a Facebook support group, and right when we just got on Zoom and just talked to each other, like I felt that there was an instant connection. So I'm really thankful to have her.
I love that. You connected, like
Yes.
spiritual in that sense. That's cool.
Yes.
You've met Shauna physically though, right?
Yes, so
Okay.
we met once.
I was like, because you weren't always on Zoom or podcast. But yeah.
We met once, but I felt that like, you know, we've FaceTime each other so much, we called each other, but meeting in person is completely different. And we happened to be in Florida at the same time. We had a wedding, and out of our busy schedule, we just carved out an hour just to meet with each other. It was so great. Like it felt like she was like a friend that I met that I have known for the longest time.
Yeah.
I just knew that like it was fate.
Yeah, it was meant to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
love
meant to
that
be.
feeling.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming in a good way.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, well, you're going to get to be together in person again because she's here. So everyone say hi to Shauna. Hi, Shauna. Have a seat. Oh my gosh. So, okay, so Shauna, you say that this podcast and friendship have helped navigate through your diagnosis, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
how
has. So, I mean, I had amazing support from my family and friends, but having Rosalina was just like the icing on the cake almost. You know, we had gone through, we started chemo the same week. We went through radiation together. We had our reconstructive surgeries legit a week apart. So we had gone through all of these things together. And, you know, we were in the trenches of breast cancer together, you know, and it was so nice to have somebody to rely on throughout our entire experience. And, you know, I find myself like, I use humor as a defense mechanism.
Yeah, that's me too.
Like sometimes very much inappropriately. So
Me too.
it was nice for Rosalina to kind of check me at times and be like, you know, this really isn't funny. Like, be a little serious. And then, you know, at times where she was struggling, like I was able to bring some humor to her. So I think, you know, we are so different, but we really have like, I don't know, we balance each other out so well, and it shows so much in our podcast.
And like I can only imagine that that's a very isolating time when, even though you have support and love from your family, no one gets it.
Yeah.
Like, no one gets exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
And
But
that's
she does.
remarkable.
Yes.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
remarkable that you
Yeah.
found each other, because that's incredibly empowering to have like some kind of network, some kind of buddy, something that can really like call on you and go, I get it. Like that's a different kind of vibe. So I'm so happy that y'all found each other. To you both, like you're now in the second season of the podcast and a new phase of your cancer journey. So how have things changed?
So survivorship is hard. I mean, people think that once you complete treatment, it's like over, you can just live on with your life, and that's not essentially it. I have to take medication for the next 5 years, where I feel fatigue, I feel tired sometimes, I have joint pains. Sometimes I don't even want to get out of bed. So it's really difficult.
What about you? Where are you at?
Survivorship's really hard, and I feel like nobody talks about it. You know, every doctor's appointment, scan, and blood work, you know, after treatment is done, creates like a ton of anxiety. It's, you know, there's just the fear of reoccurrence is always there.
The fear of every time you go back in, they might find it again.
Yeah, you know, every ache and pain, you know, is my cancer back. So I think that that's just kind of always there. And, you know, you're really never the same person again once you've been diagnosed with cancer. So, you know, I think it's just like really important to give yourself some grace and to just kind of remember that, you know, there's no timeline for healing.
Yeah, and it's different for everyone. So the podcast hasn't just had a profound impact on Rosalina and Shauna, it's given support to thousands of their listeners as well, which was the point. And they don't know this, but one of those listeners is here today. So everybody welcome Andrea. Come on up, Andrea. Come on over. You look so cute in your pink. Come on over. Have a seat. So can you tell us a little bit about your diagnosis and discovering the podcast?
Sure. Okay. So,
Oh, here you go. Wait, look, you have come to the right show. Look at all these Kleenexes. I'm just like so overly prepared. Yep.
so I actually had a lumpectomy a few years ago, but at the time it wasn't cancerous. It was benign. So they just removed the tumor. They said nothing to worry about, but I actually felt it come back, and this time they said it's probably nothing, but we should remove it again. And you know, they said you're young, you don't have a history of breast cancer in your family, and I thought, okay, it's probably nothing to worry about. When they removed it, they said it is cancer, so you have to have a mastectomy and radiation, and I thought, well, it's a mistake. I mean, I don't understand. You said it was probably nothing, and I don't have a history of breast cancer in my family.
And you're so young.
So yeah, I thought it was for older women. I'm young. I don't understand. So I said, I think you're actually wrong. So I took my medical records and I went to someone else.
That's smart though. You should get second, third opinions, all of that. Yeah.
So I went to another doctor and they told me the same thing. They said you need a mastectomy and radiation. And I went to another doctor. It took me 4 doctors to actually, I just couldn't believe it. That's how shocked I was. So I did have, I had a double mastectomy with reconstruction and radiation, and I didn't know anyone at the time who had gone through that. So I went on social media and I found Too Young for This, and I thought, oh my God, they're like me. They're going through the same things. They understood. They understood exactly what I was going through, you know, and so. It felt like they were talking to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know the impact that had and how amazing it was and how sweet it was. So, wasn't it?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. But I think
Just like passing that down.
yeah.
Yep.
And I also just want to say thank you because it's so inspiring also, I think, for not just me, but for the other people who listen, to also be advocates. And I think how you were saying, to have a conversation and to say, hey, look, you know, after my mastectomy, I said to myself, you know, we need to talk about this, about how it's affecting young women, and, you know, to know your body and to know your risk and to know your options, because I think as you've become advocates, I think we can all become advocates for ourselves. And I think that's how you've also been really inspiring, to be advocates for change.
For your own body, yeah. Well, just like Rosalina and Shauna's, Sugar Bear Vitamin Care is dedicated to the breast cancer community. In fact, for the next year, when you buy the Sugar Bear Hair Vitamins Good Cause Kit, you're helping raise money for breast cancer research. And today, Sugar Bear is giving $25,000 to the breasties. More importantly, though, it's so great that you're bringing awareness, especially as younger women. I don't think people realize the impact that it's having on younger women. So more importantly, the awareness today is so important. So thank you for being like brave enough to get out here and talk about it.
Thank you
It's
so
a hard
much.
time. So.
Yes.